and welcome back to Date with the Divas. If this is your first time with us, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you are returning, well, I guess you're digging our vibe. So please continue watching Date with the Divas. Um, if you haven't already, please click on that subscribe button and remember to like our videos, comment on them, please. We love to hear from you. And also hit on that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest and greatest. Now, entourage, let's grab our beverage of choice and let the tea get started. Ms. Alicia, you want to hook us up, please?
Yes, ladies. So I'm going to start off with some sad news. Unfortunately, this past weekend, we've all heard the news that beloved actor, musician, poet Malcolm-Jamal Warner recently passed away from drowning. He was swimming with his 8-year-old daughter in Costa Rica. The police tells ABC News. Surfers spotted the actor who used the surfer used his surfboard to bring his daughter, thankfully, to safety. And then another surfer tried to grab Malcolm-Jamal, but by the time they brought him to shore, he was already unresponsive, and they performed CPR on him for about 45 minutes before help arrived, but he was, pronounced at the scene. He was 54 years old. So there's definitely some sad news. There's been some reports coming out recently as well that um, the beach part that he was at, I think it's called Playa Grande, always had high tides at the beach, and there were signs there and everything like that, but there weren't really lifeguards there at the time, unfortunately. There may have been some volunteer lifeguards could have showed up a little later on, but too late. So Malcolm-Jamal is known. He's kept his private life private. We've never really seen who his wife is in the media too often, nor his child. And then, but he has been known for his notable role as Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show. He grew up right before our very eyes. One of my favorite moments from The Cosby Show from him is when Denise made a shirt for him, and he had to wear this shirt, and it was completely
The Garden Guard Trail.
Well, this is the actual Gordon Gartrell.
Yeah,
And
that's
the shirt
that was the
right
shirt
that
he
she made. All ill-fitted and everything. And it was such a hit scene that even actor Anthony Mackie paid homage to it and wear a similar shirt to that on a red carpet right there, which I thought was cute and funny and very nice, to pay homage to his character and to that show and what that show meant for families growing up in the 80s and 90s.
When people of a certain age say Gordon Gartrell, like we all know what that is. We talk about it was a real designer.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Outside of the Cosby Show, he had a diverse career in television and film, including acting, directing. He directed Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episodes, The Magic School Bus. He was on Malcolm and Eddie, The Resident, 911. He also released music. He had his own little spin-off show there with Tracy Ellis Ross. And he was
I don't remember this show.
I don't remember this show either.
I remember a little bit. I think it only did one season, unfortunately, but
okay.
So were they a married couple with a family?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I learned something getting the pictures with this.
Read between the lines. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I think the what was new to me was I knew he did like one or two like music. He had like some music, but I realized like he had like 5 or 6 albums.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, really?
He even recently started a podcast called Not All Hood. And I remember seeing that on YouTube, seeing some clips about it and stuff like that. And, so if anybody is definitely still interested in hearing his recent voice, you can check out that podcast. He was co-hosting with somebody else. I didn't get the lady's name, but it's called Not All Hood. So ladies, did you guys have any favorite memories or moments from Malcolm's extensive career? What was his impact on you guys?
I mean, I truthfully didn't follow his career after the Cosby Show. I didn't really know he had continued to do so many things, but I was a kid when the Cosby Show was in its heyday, and the Huxtables were just that all-American, perfect, upper middle class family that just happened to be Black. Like everybody wanted Cliff and Claire to be their parents.
Right.
They were like the Ozzy, what were the Ozzy Harriet and whatever that couple was of our day. So Theo was a brother. Theo was he was around my age, and so I feel like I grew up with him.
Right.
He was the kid that I related to the most because we were the closest in age. And,
Okay.
Nice.
yeah, I mean, it just feels like if you're a person of a certain age, you think of him as a part of your family.
Right.
At least the family, the Huxtables, like I recall it being like that was the family, like that was the aspiration. The people were finally like, hello, yes, there are, families like this, or there can be families like this. They don't always have to be down and out and always
Good times.
there can be a mother and a father, and there can be a doctor, there can be a lawyer, like, so it was kind of,
Everybody had their own bedroom.
yeah, everybody,
Right.
exactly. They were going to school, and they did make mistakes, and, so it was more of just saying, yeah, this can be normal too, like, welcome, hello, so that was great to see. And of course, they had some very iconic and episodes that people still talk about today, which is again like that Garden Gartrell. Remember that? What is that? Honey Baby, that song that they all sang
Oh yeah, when they
together
were
on
singing
the,
coming down the stairs and stuff.
yeah, like those kind of things.
The Ray Charles song.
Right.
But what I liked about his character as well was he was the quote unquote hippest one out of all of the siblings. So he throughout his upbringing, as you watched him grow through the show, he was the one that was kind of like the most urban, as to the most that you can say it, based on, like I'm saying, like you remember him and Cockroach did that rap.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true,
yeah.
right? They
But
did.
they
know what I'm
weren't
saying?
they weren't urban kids though. I mean,
No, but you know
No.
what
But
I
I
mean.
get what you're saying. They
They
were
were
the
middle
most
class
hippest,
kids.
like kind of
They
like
were middle class
uplifting
kids, but the thing is, you coming from whatever, place it,
background.
he was the one that, whatever background, he was the one that kind of was teetering on the edge of kind of like, where the rest of them was like, no one was doing Vanessa's, come on, baby, do the locomotion. Nobody was doing that. The one that kind of had, a little bit more edge to him, as little as it may be. He had some edge that kind of like, you can kind of like see it, because some of the things that were going on throughout the time kind of were reflective in the show, as well as I would say what I enjoyed is like watching some sitcoms and then seeing at the end that he actually directed it. So he worked, I know at one point he was working very closely with Debbie Allen, and she kind of put him on to the directing thing, and he did a couple of episodes, and then from there his career flourished, in terms of not only with the acting but the shows that he was acting on, that he started to direct. And so I was very impressed to see that his repertoire, his CT had like, see, what is it?
Wrong.
CV. His CV had actually like grown, and it was like very impressive. So that was a good thing.
Yeah, I liked him on The Resident. I don't know if you guys watched that medical show.
I watched a couple episodes,
He
yeah.
was actually really good on that. Yeah, he'll be missed. He'll be missed.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
I find it interesting though that his daughter survived and he didn't, because there was another gentleman that they also rescued that's in critical condition. They said he was unresponsive by the time they found him.
Yeah. And I know that I think a lot of people at this point, like that when a lot of friends of mine that we were discussing it, we were talking about going to different countries and not recognizing, like you think you're a good swimmer, but not recognizing the riptide and the waves of other countries can be so much bigger, and not recognizing the
There were lots
strength.
of signs.
There were signs
I
saying
know,
how
but I'm
bad it
just,
was.
There were a
So,
lot of them.
yeah.
A
I think it's a
So
very dangerous beach.
I've did read some comments where people saying that sometimes when they go to certain beaches internationally, the signs aren't really as visible. So, but if you guys said that there were a lot of signs that were visible, maybe so. But
the
sometimes
news
they
showed
put signs
signs.
in,
I don't know if it was like right at the edge of the water. Here, look.
right, or right as you walking into the beach,
But
but
maybe when you were entering, I guess,
yeah.
But
My
So
apologies. I didn't look into the details of it. Was he swimming out far or out like closer to shore and it got caught up? Be swimming so far out too, even with a good swimmer. I don't know.
they probably weren't out that far because when it's a strong tide, it can really carry you. You know, you don't have to be that far out to,
yeah, that's the
So
only thing I could.
I go to the beach, but I barely get my feet in. I'm one of those. I like the water
Right.
from the sand, even though I can swim. But because of that and what's in there, I don't actually get into the water like that. Or how strong of a swimmer.
Or kind of like what you said, Marilyn, like, when you start out, like, maybe he was, up to the part where he can like kind of float a little bit or whatever. But then because it's such rough waters, it just started pulling you out. And maybe, I don't know, but
It's just very sad
very
because he was so
sad.
young.
And
And
on
he's so
vacation.
young.
Okay.
Yeah. What does get me is how come it took like the ambulance 45 minutes to get there? Like,
Girl, it's a third world country.
It is different. It's not the same. You can't expect the same service and treatment when you go traveling. You need to be aware of that.
but also at the same token, the service and treatment in the United States is not always the greatest either.
True that.
It's true.
That. And then, I don't know what kind of swimmer, like if he was a surfer type of, and some of these people, they like those challenging waters, like they go to these places for those challenging waters too. So it could have been, his like, oh, this is one of the waters I want to try and swim in. Yeah, that's truly sad. And
Well,
then
may he rest in peace. We will always love him and remember him.
Yeah.
forever.
Just gone too soon.
And it
Yeah.
was so sad when Bill Cosby spoke about it, reminding him of
his
son dying
Mm,
because they were really good friends when they were younger.
yeah. So on a lighter front, and to get back to some mess.
some other type of mess, right?
Right. Parents of YouTube kid influencers, the McClure twins, they break down their income. So the McClure dads reveal how much he sets aside for his kids. So the parents of those two little girls, they started when they started doing YouTube videos and all that sort of stuff since they were babies, pretty much. They literally have grown up throughout the years, showcasing themselves online, being a kid influencer. And they're 12 years old now. The parents of the girls, they share details of their finances and income in a new docuseries called Born to Be Viral, The Real Lives of Kid Influencer. So if anyone's interested, you can check that out. In the documentary, their social media accounts, they follow the whole family basically, and it's saying that the social media accounts, of course, are managed by the parents, Ami and Justin McClure. And the McClures have a family channel, the Mighty McClures, which has over 4 million subscribers. The girls have their own separate channel as well. They do have a son, but they don't have the son as often out in the limelight as much as the girls. So at several points throughout the documentary, the parents, Amy and Justin, addressed how they managed to turn a large profit from making these videos, so he kind of breaks it down basically. And Amy says that the family makes up to $150,000 in 1 month. Just for some, showcasing your family on videos. They get endorsement deals and all that sort of stuff. So that equals to about 1.8 million a year in annual gross income.
For the combined channels, not just the twins.
Right, in the combined channels, I feel like,
Okay.
yeah. let's see, the girls also have earned around $125,000 from a Nike brand deal. They even done some modeling. They even released their first book called The McClure Twins, Make It Fashion, you know. Yeah, so they've really turned it into such a business, right? So in the show, Justin stated that he and Amy, have indeed put away money for their kids from the content they've made. He determined how much they should each be giving based on his own personal beliefs, he says. And I quote, this is a statement. I have a certain amount that I think they should have by the time that they're 18 years old. So they can buy a house, not so they can waste it and buy a Lamborghini or purses. He says, but that's around $500,000. That should be enough. I'm not a fan of giving a child millions of dollars. What do you ladies think about that?
He's a fan of giving himself millions.
Right.
Am I understanding that correctly?
Because he's an adult.
Right.
Because he's an adult.
But he can give it to the kids when they're adult.
Right, exactly. It's their money. Like,
right. They're like really literally working for it. It's not like it's just like they come from a family of generational wealth or something like that. They're literally putting in the hours for this, but like too harsh or what?
If they have they said they have their family channel. So I'm assuming that's the mother, father doing their thing, right? And then if the girls have their channel, why can't their girls' money be from their channel? Or
yeah, but I'm sure the parents have to be actively involved,
right, in their channel,
and the salary
of the channel, right? Like two 12-year-olds can't just put a YouTube show together. I'm sure the parents are doing a lot. They may have to hire a team. I'm sure they have editors. I'm sure there are costs associated with the production and the running of that channel.
Yeah, right. But
this would expect they would have more than $500,000 at 18 now.
Well, what if they're living what do we think about the idea that we are living a very nice life also for you because of the money that's being made from the channel?
Well,
you're probably living in a house nicer than the house is probably nicer than what it would be if they didn't have the channel. They probably get access to a lot of resources and
free stuff.
Yeah, right. So maybe the parents feel like some of that money that they're earning is being spent on them now.
Their current lifestyle, yeah.
And then 10 years from now.
Anyway, now, because didn't those California laws come in, or are they in California? I'm not sure, but I know that there was some new laws coming in that, they gotta.
For child actors, though, this is a different type of industry, though. That's
no, but for those influencers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the new law?
Well, again, this was just on social media, so I didn't read like the law, but there was some, I guess for California at least, that I guess like parents now are required to set aside a certain amount or something like this for their child's future or whatever it is. When they are influencers, like these YouTube channels, TikToks, and all of that stuff. And this is brand new. Like this might have started from like the first of the, maybe the beginning of the summer. I'm not sure, something like that. So it's fairly new.
So maybe what he's setting aside meets that threshold.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bare minimum.
I'm happy for them. I'm glad, because you hear so much that these kids they don't have anything as they get older.
Exactly. But then you already know that something's going to happen, and I hope not, but there's always going to be a point in time when 18 or 20 hits that is like, you spent all my money, and even though you gave me 500,000, I know we made more. I want to see, there's always going to be something. Always going to be something.
Well, if I were him,
law is only 15%. It was effective 2025. They must deposit at least 15% of the child's employer's gross earnings into a trust account until they turn 18.
There you go.
I think that's reasonable, because you have to raise the kids.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
They may need security. We don't know what, the cost of having famous children really is.
And I agree. I agree. I'm happy they're doing it.
Most definitely.
Might be a little bit more, but
I think the key is going to be transparency along the way.
Exactly. Most definitely.
Yes, these conversations should be had with the kids now. And every year they should know this is what's being put into your account.
Exactly. Yeah. And what is being done, what money is coming out to pay for XYZ. like you said, transparency needs to be up. Yeah. But then
And they may not
also,
understand. I was gonna say, at least having the documentation so that when they get of age, like it isn't like we don't have any record of what it was spent on. That way you don't have those issues. Like
exactly. And the ability to have someone assist them in terms of once they are of age to actually make sure that they don't squander away that money as well too.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, keeping them, like you said, even as children, you teach your kids about, oh, well, I want to get this, I don't know, skateboard. Well, how much money do you have put away from your allowance? Or, those little things to kind of, there's different ways to show children different things and age appropriate. So if they're slowly teaching them or showing them, look, this is what we're doing, this is, you know what I'm saying, in a way that they understand, as they get older, they'll already be seeing it. It'll be customary and
Yeah, it won't be a shock when they
right,
turn 18. Yeah.
right.
Because you guys heard Real Housewives of Atlanta, Kim Bierman, her daughter saying she and her stepfather spent all of her money that she made when she was a teenage influencer.
Oh, damn.
That's crazy. Yeah. My only thing is that $500,000 could probably get you a decent house now at their age at 12 years old in today's economy. But by the time they're 18, it might be more expensive for a decent house for them. So to me, I feel like he's just capping it at a certain cap that might not be realistic by the time they reach adulthood. So
Or he could just be saying an amount for that, for right there. When you kind of do a trust, that there's all this money, but at this age, this is what you will get. And then later on, you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Something like
hopefully.
that. Just like you said, I'm sure they'll be making more money, or hopefully,
Hopefully, because the way he was saying it, like they're gonna waste money on Lamborghinis or purses. It's their money. If they want to spend it on that when they're
Yeah,
18.
the likelihood of 18-year-olds buying a house with
Right.
$100,000, I think it's very low.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I kind of think too, just like you guys said, if you are already showing them as they go along, this is what we're doing, this is how where the money's going. Like, you know what I'm saying? You give them that structure, and they have that, the good head on their shoulders. So by the time they're 18, they know they're not going out to get something, quote unquote frivolous, and then they're using their money accordingly.
very
They may
interesting.
want it for. Sorry, go ahead, Marilyn.
No, I was gonna say, interesting in the law. It's very detailed that they have to track how often the child appears. They have to make sure they have financial records. And there's only 4 states right now, and this is, don't hold me to this, everybody. This is based off this quick research that actually have this. Well, Minnesota requires them to 100% of the proceeds for children under the age of 14 must be put away. Because they're saying that you as a parent must take care of your kids, not live off of what they earn.
Oh, wow.
So I'm
Okay.
interpreting from that.
Which is, I mean, because look, you got this poor kid from the Housewives, like, saying, "Look, I did all of this, and where's my money?" Like,
Yeah, but if you
that's not
figure
fair.
you have somebody under the age of 14 who's really working, like on movie sets, and there may be flights that have to be arranged. Like there may be real expenses that regular lower middle class parents
Families
would not
can't.
be able to pay for.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
That's a
right.
different, because you would have that information that would come out. I think it's looking at like, I mean, I know you said they're living a nice life. They may be living a nice lifestyle, but in the case of they're saying that you as a parent should be taking care of your child regardless of what your child is making. Yes, from the standpoint of, like you said, the flights and stuff, they may not be able to afford that, but yes, that should be coming out of the kids, those kind of expenses. But should the house they live in come out of it? Should the
I
food
mean,
they
if your
eat come
kid
out of
is
it?
famous, you can't just be living in any neighborhood. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like Macaulay Culkin, those of us who remember him, he was like worldwide famous by the time he was 10 years old. He can't just be living around any block.
New Edition did.
Girl.
They came back home to the projects.
Right, wasn't there like the joke, the New Edition contract kind of, around town,
Yeah, they
like
came back.
that
They
type of
came
thing?
back on that bus back to the
Yeah, that's the
projects.
sad part of the story, though, is it not?
Yeah,
Yes.
no, I get it. But maybe that's what I'm saying. Like, I get what they're saying. Like, you should not be living off, quote unquote, your children. But if if you got, like she said, I got to take the child back and forth to the interviews, or, I mean, what do you call those things?
Auditions.
Auditions and things like this. So who's doing it? Because I
And you
could have
have to
been
be on
at the
set with
office.
them. When they're
Yeah.
under the age of 14, a parent needs to be on set. So
Right. So
one
this
parent
person
needs to
has to
quit their
be there.
job.
So exactly. So where's
Well,
the
they
income coming from? So that's why I was saying they could have given themselves a salary,
salary
Right,
or
yeah.
something. I don't know, but it has to come from somewhere because
because they both quit their jobs, right?
Yes, they did. I read that somewhere too. Yep.
so that's what I'm saying. So this is a business now.
Mm-hmm. So
So
true. By the way, I looked them up and they live in Atlanta right now.
Yes,
okay, so
they do.
Where the money
okay,
goes
so
far.
They
Right.
don't have to say nothing because
Not
they live in
really.
Atlanta. They can
It
spend
goes
every
further than
dime of their
LA.
money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it does. But where it's coming close, it's coming closer to the California port.
the California
Right.
code,
Yeah, Miss Marilyn said, she said Atlanta doesn't have that law, right?
No, that's
So
the
they can
South.
spend
You can do
every
whatever the hell you want with your kids.
you
Oh,
can spend every dime
dang.
of their money.
And that's the
Well,
sad part, Entrees. You
well,
are very much right. You could do whatever the hell you want to do
you,
with your kids.
you never know how great they might start coming up and getting these deals and stuff like this. They may have to come out to California because, although they
Now,
do
to
filming
California
in
versus
Atlanta,
living in
but
California is two different things. You abide by the state you live in. You only pay taxes, and
no, but I'm
thing.
saying if they start getting like big, 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 and they maybe, I don't know, start doing filming. I know they do filming in Atlanta, but if you're just coming out here to do filming and you're like, okay, let's move out here, meaning to California for better opportunities, then maybe they'll have to follow these rules.
But right now,
Well,
there ain't better opportunities. They're probably best what they do is keeping their butt in Atlanta and making the
Right.
money because right now actors and actresses are not getting booked, so they're making more money doing influencer stuff.
yeah, I hear it, right. Social media is doing actually better than
Than everything.
yeah. So
Better
and
get my
it's
TikTok ladies. No.
you hear that entourage. So come on, click on our videos, like our videos.
Right, right.
We can come up.
Right.
We'll start videotaping every day because we'll have a salary then. Look.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, I trust. Let us know what you guys think. What would you do if these were your kids and you were making a living with them, doing social media, getting brand deals and all that sort of stuff, and they were like semi-famous and everything? Would you pay them right now a little bit along the way, then set aside just a little bit, or is that $500,000 a good cap, or is that unrealistic by the time they actually get to adulthood? Because we all see what the economy is, right? So everything keeps going up, up, up. So let us know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you all next week for more hot tea.
All right, y'all.